Stick to the Plan podcast. Michigan's elite political podcast is about to begin, live from the birthplace of the Republican Party. Let's gather under the oaks like our forefathers did. Now more than ever, it's time to stick to the plan.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Stick to the Plan podcast. I'm Kevin. As always, I'm here with Russ. It's another Monday, and
Hi.
it's just us today.
Hi, Kevin. Yep. Look here. Blank seat.
Yeah, they probably can't see
No
it.
guess.
No guess.
When's the last time it's just been you and I? It's been quite a while.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute, that's for sure.
And you know, Kevin, Mondays come around awful fast.
They come
But
around fast.
we have guests that I could have got. Lena Epstein called last week, right before the last show. We
Yeah.
could have put her on here. She's a candidate for U of M Regents. I like the Lena,
Yeah.
but I didn't feel like it. Yeah.
Nah, you got to be prepared.
And I kind of
Guests are hard.
didn't have Stick to Plan podcast on my mind all week until like yesterday.
Yeah.
And I said, we're just doing this by ourselves. But we're going to talk about state budget. And I thought about getting the John Wilson on here from Hits Home Jackson to talk a little bit more in depth about the state budget. But we'll talk about it today.
I'm sure we'll do just fine.
Yeah. And I know John's show is usually county and city stuff. I don't know. Maybe he'll touch upon the state budget. Why don't you run that by him? Because
Yeah, I'm sure.
he's got some serious concerns about the state
Yeah,
budget, and it's got to do with the gas tax.
He likes to stick to the city and the county, but I'm sure that it will be brought up.
He's been pretty active about his concern on the social media
Yeah.
more than other things.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, here we are. Good to see you, Kevin.
Good to see you. It's weird because usually this is the only time we see each other.
It is.
Yeah.
We'll go through the week. Now, you did appear somewhere.
Oh, I was breakfast with
Oh, that's right.
Justin Griffiths.
With Justin Griffiths.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
could start the show talk about Justin. I like that guy.
I like Justin. I do.
He was our guest last week.
He was.
And, you know, all of our guests have been pretty easy to deal with,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
especially considering we don't prepare.
No, we are. Yeah. We see. I always thought about that, and it's called stick to the plan, but the plan is we don't usually have a plan,
There's never a plan.
so we stick to that.
It's really a stupid name when it
Yeah.
comes to you and I. I mean, it's our name we've had for a couple of years.
Yeah, we're coming up on 2 years.
I think we're 2 years.
Yeah, it'll be 2
March
years in December
here. Yeah.
ish, November, December.
We're like professional streamers.
Yeah.
I think you are.
I guess technically, yeah. I mean, it
So
pays my bills, so that means
Right.
I'm a professional, right?
Right. You're not an announcer guy no more.
No, not even a little bit.
Not even. Kind of nice not doing that.
It's not bad. I
Yeah.
mean, it's nice working for myself. I kind of do as I want,
Yeah.
and actually, we talked about this. The big thing is I don't have to stress and plan for naps anymore.
You know what? Being a long-time third shifter and then being in the bar business myself for quite a long time, I didn't think it was an issue until I took it out of my life.
Yeah,
And it
Naps are
wasn't
stressful.
so much the sleep, like, oh, I go to bed at this time. No. You always thought, oh, I got to squeeze a nap in before I go to work. And then when you would say, you're busy doing something, you would have to contemplate, well, can I make it without a nap or can
Exactly.
I? Your whole day was revolved around that nap.
And mentally prepare for not having a nap. It's stressful. It's very stressful.
It's very stressful. I know it sounds stupid unless you've been in our boat. It is nice. We all love naps,
Oh yeah, everyone loves naps.
but happen to do one.
Yeah, and then waking up from the nap. you know,
That's horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. We got John Smith in the chat already saying delegate Constitution for the win.
John.
It sounds like that's something you weren't prepared to bring up today.
That was not going to be my topic today, John Smith. Why don't you try electing a Secretary of State candidate?
Yeah, why don't you do something, John? Just do something other than John things. I don't know what that is.
John, I did see your girl at the Kalamazoo Lincoln Day dinner Saturday. I think I took like one of the best pictures I've ever taken with her.
Oh, well.
She's a good-looking gal herself, but I
You know.
remember thinking, wow, Russ, you look good in that picture, because I take some stupid pictures
Oh, yeah.
sometimes.
Oh, I feel
We're not going to talk about
that.
delegate rights today.
Okay. Not today, John.
We might.
We probably will.
We might. I would like delegate rights if delegates. All right, we're going there.
We're going there. See what you did, John?
I'm a precinct delegate. I've been a precinct delegate for a decade.
He says you looked amazing, and he said let's bring her on soon.
Oh, yeah, we'll do that. Maybe next week before the Lena Epstein. The Lena Epstein wants me to have her on. I prefer to have the Amanda on. Do Lena later. But all these people they're getting elected February 28th. So Secretary of State, Attorney General, college boards are all the precinct delegates. Elect them February 28th. March 28th, right? March 28th. Anyways, so we're going to have to squeeze those people on. But we do got the Tom Leonard already booked.
Yes, in November, right?
Well, I'm not used to pre-booked stuff on this show.
No, me neither.
November 3rd,
November,
the
yeah.
Tom Leonard for Michigan governor.
Uh-huh.
But there's a lot of weeks in between there. So we're going to throw guests on. It's going to be guests like that.
You know that there's by the way, this is kind of off topic, but there's a Mike Dugan billboard in Napoleon.
There is?
Yeah, I was with Grandma. She wanted to go to Country Market out in Brooklyn. We're on our way back, and coming into Napoleon right before
The body shop?
right after the body shop, right before the actual town of Napoleon, there's a big voted most effective governor
Yeah.
or mayor, blah, blah, blah.
Of the
Mike Dugan.
nation.
Yeah.
He claims to be the most effective mayor in the nation.
Yeah. And Grandma goes, who's Mike Dugan? And
Good.
I was like, oh,
Good.
let me tell you.
Good.
Yeah. So anyways, I just thought that was funny. In little old Napoleon.
She's voting for Jocelyn Benson.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just right. Delegate Bill of Rights.
Mhm. March
Um,
28th, by the way.
It's kind of a issue of a non-issue. There's a faction of the precinct delegates that think that state committee or the Michigan GOP administration
Mhm.
are going to attempt in some level, some way, to diminish the role of precinct delegates. I say phooey. I've been to every state committee meeting in the last year. It's never talked about.
Right.
So that brings up our current precinct delegate pool. Here's the problem with the recruitment of precinct delegates in my mind. Maybe we need John on next week. We'll talk about it. But the normal Republican voter, my neighbors that I talk about all the time,
Mhm.
that have no idea that there's a convention, a state convention, a county convention, or how these candidates are even elected unless I tell them. And then the minute I tell them, they forget because they
Right.
don't give a shit.
Mhm.
Those are your run-of-the-mill Republican voters.
Yep.
And there's got to be a way to change this. Education of voters would be helpful, but we've wasted so much time over the last decade trying to recruit precinct delegates. How much resources more are we going to put into this?
Right.
I say let's recruit volunteers. But so the precinct delegates, the recruitment of precinct delegates in the last handful of years has always been the extreme right.
Mm.
You are an angry voting Republican.
Fed up with the system, want to
That's
make a
right.
change.
Their intent for jumping in as a precinct delegate isn't so much to elect Republicans, but to change the Republican Party.
Mhm.
Now, John's going to say to recruit better Republican candidates. I get that. But their needle is far righter than that.
Yeah.
Okay. I know many of them. I used to be one. I used to meet with a group of people the Monday before our executive committee meeting to go over the agenda, to how to disrupt the agenda.
Right.
Okay, I'm not that guy no more. People do that to me now. Okay, same concept. You run to the March 28th convention, all the precinct delegates,
Mhm.
and they potentially are going to elect out of convention the candidates to run in the general against the Democrats that make it easy for Democrats to beat.
Mhm.
Because it's easy to paint a picture. They're extreme, crazy wackos. Whether they are or not, that's the picture that's painted.
Right.
So now, I always underestimate precinct delegates. Our last convention, when we elected the current Michigan GOP administration, all my predictions were wrong. I've seen it in the past. So maybe I'm shortchanging the common sense of precinct delegates, but it seems to me the precinct delegate pool, for the most part, represents the super far right,
Mhm.
the potentially unelectable far right,
Right.
against the Democrats. That's my fear. That doesn't mean, and John hates me for this. I wouldn't say he hates me. You know, me and John are good friends. That's where we disagree. Doesn't mean in my heart, I wish that was our candidate.
Right.
But I take precedence over Republicans winning than the candidate that I potentially like the best.
Right.
I prefer winning. I come from the class of Republicans. I even rather have a shit Republican than any frickin' Democrat.
Yeah.
And so that's where the dispute lies. I don't want to diminish the role of precinct delegates. But I also know that this issue come up for no reason.
Right.
In a Telegram chat group 6 months ago, which I can't stand them damn things, the rumor was thrown out that the state committee or the elements of the Michigan GOP are going to change the role of precinct delegates. I have not heard that other than from the precinct delegates.
Right.
They're creating something that doesn't yet exist. Now, maybe you need to have a Bill of Rights so you protect that rights. The Jackson GOP just approved the Grand New Party's delegate Bill of Rights and supposedly sent it to Michigan GOP. I wasn't at that meeting, but we unanimously last month approved that. So I didn't say Russ, but the Jackson GOP
Right.
has endorsed the Grand New Party's precinct delegate Bill of Rights.
Fair.
There it is. You know what? I'll support the Bill of Rights. Because there's no atmosphere that I've seen other than a Telegram chat
Right.
to eliminate. By the way, we're going March 28th. There's been no talk about doing it any other way. And I can sit there and say, in my opinion, the delegates are going to overwhelmingly vote for Kevin Kajewski over Doug Lloyd or Matt DePerno. I really feel that way.
Yeah.
But then again, I've been surprised by the delegates in the past. That being said, I'm doubting Doug Lloyd or Matt DePerno are watching our show.
Maybe.
I like Doug Lloyd a lot. I think he's
yeah,
a pretty good
he's
guy.
fine.
I do not think he's going to win over the Michigan Republican delegates. Kevin got the the electors off.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Kevin Gavsky, he's just when you talk to him, we've had him. I've talked to him in person. We've had him on the show remotely. He's very likable, very likable,
Very likable.
Very
Doug
likable.
Lloyd's likable though, but
yeah, but
now
not at the same level. I don't.
not the same level. He's not a cool, down to earth, kick the shit guy.
Great guys, Jonathan.
Kevin,
Great guys.
Kevin, I can't say it here. We experienced something Saturday. I'm like, that's a normal guy.
Yeah, he's just a dude.
Most attorneys I've met in my life have the oddest personalities.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are dicks.
Yeah, holier than thou kind of
I
guys.
did not pick up on that with Doug Lloyd. He seemed pretty easy to talk to
Yeah.
for a longtime county prosecutor. That's another thing. Precinct delegates are going to look at Doug Lloyd as establishment.
Yeah,
I hate that.
I hate that term.
I used to be grassroots. Now I'm establishment. Whatever, man.
It's just because you've been around longer,
Right. I
Like-
don't know what determines the litmus test
Yeah,
of whether a person's a rhino, an establishment, the grassroots, or whatever you are.
all of them. It doesn't matter. I think it's just it takes one person to say something,
I-
and then it's a thing.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I call all my close people anymore when I see them. I always say, "Hey, what's up, Rhino?"
Yeah, you can.
Um,
Yep.
you know, if we're going to be labeled that, might as well keep each other rhinos.
Yeah.
Kevin, I've said on the show a long time, I hate the term rhino
Yeah, it's.
because anytime you're mad at a fellow Republican, you say, "Well, you're just a rhino."
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's we're in this world of everyone uses terms and they overuse them and it means nothing. Nazi
Right.
is a good one.
Right. Big time
Toxic
right now. Toxic.
Yeah. you
Threat to democracy.
know, yeah, rhino. It's like everyone's a rhino. Everyone's a Nazi. Everyone's is toxic, and it means that we're literally taking any weight that word has.
So
And now it means nothing.
I'm always uncomfortable with the term in the last election cycle in 24. Well, if so-and-so agrees with us 70% of the time, that means we're on the same team. I agree. I hate the term. I hate it. I'm like, that's stupid. That's a stupid thing to say. It used to be, though, Kevin, if you were a Trump supporter and you knew that another person was a Trump supporter, you're in.
Mhm.
You didn't talk shit about that person. Now, everybody's a Trump supporter, so now we label people other things because they're not the same kind of Republicans as the next guy.
Yeah. Well, we live in this world now that where it's normal to hate somebody because they don't vote the way you do. In the past, you would josh with your neighbor. Oh, haha, he's a Democrat, he's a lib, whatever.
Yeah.
And then everything was fine. And then guess what? You'd all hang out, you'd all drink beers together later on. But now, no, you hate them.
It's real bad.
And I think what it is I bet you it's on both sides too, Republican and Democrat, where it's like people want to get in on that hatred. And so it's like, oh, well, I don't have any more Dems to hate, so I got to start hating other Republicans because they don't view things exactly how I do.
And regretfully so, I think it would have happened anyhow. Trump brought that on, enhanced that in 16. Now, the left tends to say, well, Trump's creating the hate. Yeah, they created the hate. But that's when it all began in 16. We hate Trump, and Trump hates these people. And it really went to shit really bad after Trump got elected in 16.
Mm-hmm. But it takes two to hate. It's
It
two
does.
tango. So I mean, it's we're all messing up, is what, in my opinion.
Republicans should and always will disagree. I think it's gotten better as far as division amongst Republicans.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It still exists. They always say, well, the Democrats do better at getting along than we do. No, they're a hot mess, especially
yeah.
right now.
Oh yeah.
But even before Trump won a second time,
Mhm.
and Trump has them on the ropes.
Oh yeah, they're floundering. They've
They're-
been floundering for
they're
a
bad.
decade, but
But
that
I look locally. They've been through several chairs here in Jackson, and they went from like the elected officials running the party to some hobo type DEI
some dude
transgender.
with a boot on his head.
Yeah, I know.
the
It-
Pastafarians.
but I think maybe at the end of the day, when they disagree, at the end they come together and pretend like they don't disagree.
Yeah.
I don't think we've done that horrible of a job at it. I think we're currently better than we were.
Mhm.
You know,
I think
but
we're having a hard time deciding a common enemy is really what it is. I think that
Right.
the left has a common enemy, and that's bad or Orange Man bad.
Orange Man bad.
Orange Man bad. Where the right, there isn't really a common enemy.
You ever notice? You might not as notice as much, but if John's still in or anybody out there,
Yeah, he's in it.
they it used to be take Congressman Wahlberg.
Mhm.
He's not Trump, right? And the left will take, say, anybody, Wahlberg or anything, and paint him because he's a Trump supporter.
Mhm.
It's just as radical as Trump. Yeah.
Well, I've noticed something weird.
Yeah, because he votes the way Trump wants him to,
Yeah.
but you know.
Yeah, but what I've noticed weird is, have you noticed that? I've noticed that people talk about the far right, and they'll talk about, just hardcore Republicans, and then they put MAGA in a completely different category
The
now.
left certainly tries doing that. That MAGA bad.
Yeah, it's like MAGA's its own little entity, and it is, but it's all the same team.
Very few Republicans are not MAGA anymore.
Right.
I know some locally. Very few. Very, 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 very few.
Yeah.
And you can even take guys like Wahlberg and a lot of people in Congress. I don't think in 2016, for that first 4 years, they rarely brought Trump's name up too much.
Yeah.
As things progressed, they did. And a lot of those people now are all on the Trump bandwagon. But then again, just like DeSantis in Florida, the Trump agenda has proven to work. So they jump aboard and say, okay, plus they don't want Trump going after them.
Right.
Like they did Massey. He speaks his mind, and back in the was a big, beautiful bill, all that crap, or the last CR. But anyways, enough of that. I love all Republicans. As long as they're really a Republican, but then again, I guess that's subjective now, ain't it?
Yeah. I mean, I agree. It's super subjective. The other thing I wanted to bring up, do you remember when at one point it was, even if you were on the left, to be considered a lib was a bad thing? It was almost a slur for a while. And now it's a badge of,
I remember when being a socialist was a bad thing.
Yeah,
they don't hide that at all.
Yeah.
The next thing they're not going to hide is their communist Marxist agenda. So now you see it playing out, but they don't openly say,
not yet.
I'm a commie. That's next.
Yeah.
It'll be cool to say you're a commie on the left.
Yeah.
It used to be nothing cool. You keep it quiet that you're a socialist. Now they'll say, yeah, I'm a socialist.
Yeah.
They make it the norm.
Exactly.
Being a
The
commie
norm
is going to be the norm.
back to the norm. And as I've preached that on my other shows. Do you remember there was a time, like it would be your parents, my grandparents, where if you thought your neighbor was a commie, it didn't matter what political stance they had. If you thought they were commies, they were like firebombing your house.
Oh,
and,
yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, like the red wave or whatever. Like,
oh, yeah.
And now it's like, oh, you're a commie. Okay.
Yeah. It's good. Or even if you were open socialist.
Yeah.
But now they made it the norm.
Uh-huh. The new norm. Thanks,
Yeah.
Fauci.
And you know what? I got to say, John and a lot of my other friends like that, I want them to stay true to their Republican principles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to ever change.
Right.
My Republican principles have shifted over the years.
I think many have.
But I respect those candidates. Some of my favorite politicians in state government are Steve Carra, Matt Maddock, Jim DeSantis. Those are my favorite state legislatures. And I wished all could be that way. This is where John and I disagree
Mm-hmm.
is, all right, let's take Jim DeSantis, for example. He claims he was in a 50-50 or a plus Democrat district, and he's won now a couple of times
Mm-hmm.
on his principles.
Right.
Okay. That's awesome. Kathy Schmaltz, +2 Dem. She is not like Jim DeSantis. Well, why can't she have conservative principles like Jim DeSantis? Something's different with the district.
Mm.
I truly believe, for example, in District 46 here in Jackson, Kathy Schmaltz would not continue to win if she was any other way.
I agree. And, you know, I've spoken with Kathy a lot. Kathy's helped me with some issues I had, and I agree with you. I don't want to call her a fence rider because that's not, but she almost has to be to win this area.
I don't always like it, but I really think it's the case. Now, you know, maybe I'm wrong.
Mhm.
Jim DeSantis, I think he's had family members serving in some city council positions, you know, a little bit, and large Catholic family farmer in the area,
Mm.
and they already knew how he was.
Right.
And Kathy, boy, you get her privately, she's pretty good conservative, but politically, she navigates the way she navigates.
Right.
I've seen Kathy at events that most politicians won't go to.
Right.
Mama Tutu's, things like that. You know, whatever. Mama Tutu's an awesome woman here on the South Side.
Yeah.
Does a lot for people that need help.
Yeah.
She goes to all that stuff.
Mm.
And I honestly believe that there are Democrats that normally in the city of Jackson especially would normally vote Democrat
Mhm.
that go, I like Kathy Schmaltz so much that I'm going to vote for her, and they jump tracks. I know they do.
Yeah.
That's how she wins.
And I think that's, you know,
And she doesn't go to those events with her Trump flag.
no. And those are the extreme left and the extreme right, where I hate that when they're like, I won't vote for that person just because of the R or the D in front of their name.
You know I do.
Well, I know that, but you're also deep. You're deep in it. You know, we're talking your normal, everyday, run of the mill voter.
You're right.
You should vote for what is going to, you know,
It used to be a lot more like that.
Yeah.
Vote for what you thought was the best candidate, because the Democrats and the Republicans were pretty much similar any darn ways for many, many years.
Yeah, you're right in the middle. And the thing is now it's like, oh, I absolutely hate everything that person's ever said, but they have an R in front of their name.
Oh yeah, it's big time.
Or a D. I mean, it works both ways. It really does work.
Funny story here. We found a candidate for District 47. I'm going to give a little education on District 47. Justin was here last week, the candidate for that, and we talked about this.
Yeah.
The Democrats held that seat since redistricting in 22.
Uh-huh.
So what are we talking? 4 years. A Democrat has been the candidate, or been the state house
representative
in that district,
Yeah.
in Jackson County. I didn't even know her name.
I didn't until
you know why?
Yeah,
I don't
breakfast.
pay attention to who those candidates are.
no.
I can't even tell you other than Okay, I'm pretty close. Gilchrist, Jocelyn Benson are running for governor in Michigan on the Democrat side.
Right.
I can't tell you off the top of my head here who's running against Mike Rogers on the Democrat side, the Senate side.
I don't think there's anybody.
And that's how R I am to D. I don't even pay attention to who those candidates are.
Right.
And I should know at least the state rep that represents part of Jackson County.
Yeah,
I did
maybe.
see her at one. She doesn't come to Jackson. She hangs out over by Ann Arbor.
I would. Yeah.
I did see her at an event, and I wasn't impressed, but I walked away not remembering her name. I do know her name now. Is Carrie Reinges. And Carrie is an extreme lefty. So, like, extreme lefty. And but back to Justin in District 47.
Mm-hmm.
I as promoting Justin locally, I was talking to an executive committee member who lives in District 47. She didn't know if she was in the district or not. And I said, so-and-so, I think you are. And there's a big question mark. I said, so-and-so, I'm trying not to say the name. I go, who did you vote for in 24 for state rep? Did you vote for Kathy Schmaltz? Well, I think I did. Come find out she didn't.
Of course not.
Wait a minute. You mean active members of the Jackson Republican Party aren't even aware of that district or who that candidate is or the difference? How the hell do you think normal voters think?
Right.
That's a problem. So I'll break it down. Jackson County, you are represented. District 47 includes most of Summit Township, all of Napoleon Township, all of Columbia Township, all of Norval Township, and half of Grass Lake. And then it goes into the southern counties of Washtenaw. And, of course, it's gerrymandered and it wiggles up, I don't know, northeast of Dexter area.
I tried to find I tried to find the map last week. It's almost impossible to find it.
By the way, Chris Beard sent me a good map. If I did remember it, I'd brought it up. But yeah, we have a little bit of education curve here. So when redistricting happened and then we didn't fill it with our candidate, it's gone. Oh, well, Kathy Schmaltz and Sarah Leitner represent Jackson County. No. Yes, they do. But those townships I just mentioned, which are significant townships, by the way, Columbia Township is probably, I don't know, third or fourth largest township.
That's a big township.
It is. With the money. That's where the money's at. Lake Columbia, Clark Lake. Some people don't know. Anyway, so there's promises there that once we educate people that you're represented by a whack job and that we found someone with some common sense and good conservative Republican principles as a candidate. Thankfully, we got a lot of time to roll Justin out. But that is good news. We found a candidate, and we have a possibility of getting a good Republican elected down there. That'd be great to have Jackson County covered by all Republicans, like back in the day. By the way, back in the day before redistricting, no Democrats held any seats in Jackson County except for in the city.
Right.
That's why they gerrymandered the new districts. Cut the tail end of the BS there. We are represented by a pretty progressive state senator, Sue Shink. I don't know if we've got a candidate to go up against her. Initial look at the numbers, it's worse than it was. I don't know. We haven't gone far into it. Could be a 8-10 plus Dem seat, but all of our numbers that we're coming up with for District 47 are +2, +3 Dem. There's a lot of seats like that Republicans hold, Kathy Schmaltz being one of them. I think it's 50-50 where Laura Perry is going to run. It's held by a Democrat. But we got a lot of work to raise money for Justin and get him on the radar that it could be a flippable seat. But that is good news. I hope when I post on social media, it's one of the most active posts out there exposing the fact that Jackson's represented by Carrie Reinges, who is really a super lefty. She's maybe the top 5 lefty in state government. And but the problem with that district, it does encompass a big portion of Grass Lake or of Chelsea and Ann Arbor. That is hard to overcome. That's what changes the numbers. That's where the population is. But I think there's something there. I was at the Kalamazoo Lincoln Day dinner Saturday. Thanks to Vice Chair Mike Farage, hooked me and my buddy up, Todd Gilman, to sit at the AFP table in Kalamazoo. So we went over there Saturday with intentions to finally meet Matt Hall.
Yeah.
I've never met Michigan House Speaker Matt Hall. and he's a keynote speaker. Him and Eric Nesbitt, the minority leader and candidate for governor, Eric Nesbitt. But I went there. I said, "Ooh, I need to meet this Matt Hall." I've been telling others. I kind of like the feller.
Right.
He's funny to me.
Speaking of kind of like the feller, John's over here chomping at the bit. So I sent him a link. As soon as he turns his shit on, he'll be on the show. He's like, plug me in. Oh, there he is.
John,
Hey, what's happening, guys?
don't you have a candidate to get across the line for SOS?
Yeah, I'm actually heading to our house to grab some literature and then heading to Saginaw GOP for their Lincoln Day dinner.
I'm glad we have someone watching.
Yeah, John's about to. Well, we got 4 other people.
Okay.
So, by the way, for anyone that doesn't know, that's John Smith. And he's
John Smith. What's your title these days?
I don't really have a title. I help Republicans get elected, Russ.
Is that freedom kind of nice not having a title?
To be honest with you, it's not as exhausting. You know, when you do a volunteer title that's intense as the Republican Party in this state like Michigan, as you know, Russ, it's exhausting. It's it can get you in a lot of different directions. I have a lot of freedom. I have flexibility. I've created that for myself. I've always been true to my character and who I am in the party, and that flexibility has allowed me to I don't know. I guess you could say be who I am. I guess I'm respected enough in the party, and I enjoy doing it. And by having that flexibility allows me to keep doing it. You know.
So, John, delegates, Bill of Rights, whatever the issue might be.
The two arguments of it, I understand both sides of the argument. And that's why, Russ, I think you and I is a prime example of what we can actually achieve moving forward in Michigan. I mean, Kevin was right. You know, this idea of hate. You know, I came in hot and heavy, as you know, Russ, and we can hate whoever we want to hate, but at the end of the day, we all know hate doesn't really get us far. And yeah, hate can tear stuff down, but really, it's not about tearing stuff down; it's about building stuff up. And I think, in my opinion.
So, John, you and I are a good example, and I see the other too much in the party. You take a simple political insider disagreement and stay angry at that person because they disagreed with you.
Yeah. No, I mean, and there's some hard lines in the sands for a lot of people.
And they literally get mad and stay mad.
It's appropriate with some, and it seems not appropriate with others. Like, where do you draw that line? Russ, honestly, if you think about it, I think the way the viewing of it, whether it's from the what you would call radical delegate side or viewing it from the establishment side, I think both sides are viewing it wrong. Both sides want to stifle people or hold people down. What I want to do is hold my politician accountable.
Okay, how does that tie into? I feel that the.
Hey, Kevin, I like that shoulder shrug you just gave.
Well, I agree. We got to hold them accountable. That's.
I feel the precinct delegate Bill of Rights.
Because the precinct Bill of Rights,
nothing.
How check it out, Russ.
Was it created just to be safe? There was no tone.
Well, what it is, okay, I can tell you what it is, Russ, and it stems from Hillsdale, stems from Kalamazoo. Those are the areas that had some precinct delegate issues. Let's say that they were the worst. You know, there's other areas that run into precinct delegate problems. We all know new precinct delegates get in because they're excited or they're emotionally charged. They hate something. They hate their politician. Yeah. They hate what it is they're seeing, or they disapprove of it very emotionally. So we know that, Russ. You know that. I know that. You and I have a little bit more wisdom. We've been around the party for quite some time. You have to know that about some delegates. Now, not all delegates get that wisdom, right? Like, you got delegates in your party that have been around for a decade and still have that mentality of aggression or whatever you want to call it. And that's something you have to work. I mean, this is all about team building. You think if you worked in a factory with 100 people, you think you're going to get along with 100 people?
Never.
Absolutely not.
When I worked at a grocery
Never.
store with 7 people.
So-
I hated most of them.
Yeah, most of them.
Yeah. So realistically, we have to work and you can't have it both ways. And what I mean by that is Randy Guppy's post, and I think you know what I'm talking
I was
about.
going to say that's where this come from.
Yeah, you can't have it both ways. You can't have an open tent operation and then stifle what you don't like seeing coming in.
I can't disagree with you, John.
You're wanting to put thumbs onto people, onto volunteers, and say you're not part of the party when with the hypocrisy of this open Big Ten operation.
Don't you think you
So
just thought that? I didn't pick that up from, say, Randy's post.
Yeah, I commented on it yesterday. You can't have it both ways. So the thing is so now we created our own problem because we're our own worst enemies in the party. We created some of our own problems by stifling. I don't think the party itself or the delegates themselves are actually a problem. I think we can have from the radical to the what you would call rhino or soft side of Republicans. We're going to have all that within the delegate field or within the party structure field. I actually think where the action's at is the politician and holding our politicians accountable. Because if our politicians were held accountable and say our politicians were doing what the body wants, we would be not fighting as much within the party structure, in my opinion.
There's never been a time where we haven't been to a certain degree.
Yeah, right. And then, this is probably what it is, potentially. But I'll tell you what, Russ, I mean, this is only what we experience, and none of us can really think out of the box. What if we had some sort of hybrid system? I've never heard anybody talk about a hybrid system ever in the party. Why not?
Have you and I discussed hybrid system? What's your thought on a hybrid system? What do you mean?
Yeah, so when people mention you and I have talked about this a little bit on the show, talking about the idea of closed caucuses or things like that. What does that mean? You're okay for a closed caucus for an SOS race, but you're not okay for a closed caucus for what? So there is hybrids. We actually have a hybrid in regards to AG and SOS. Maybe we have that hybrid for county commissioners. Maybe we have that hybrid for state reps. I don't really have that answer, but getting people in the room. Oh, go ahead, Russ. Sorry.
A year and a half ago, when you and I started talking about this on this show, we talked about it often. I was all for it because I look at locally, especially weak Republicans that have no vetting process. But as this whole Bill of Rights, precinct delegate Bill of Rights, and when I look at it, in order for that to ever be effective, in my opinion, to beat Democrats, we would need to expand the precinct delegate base immensely. We have to be represented more than the far right that flock. They're so angry, they flock to be a precinct delegate to change the party. They're not there to change.
You're absolutely correct, Russ. You're not wrong with your assessment. You would have to build out that precinct delegate even more so. You're not wrong with what you're saying, and I think there's going to be a challenge with that as well. I mean, we have a hard enough time with volunteers currently, right?
I've been saying for the last year and a half, the party's been spending way too many resources, time and energy recruiting precinct delegates when all you need is volunteers. And it's a simple thought. You want to scare a volunteer away? Plop the word affidavit of identity in front of them. You and I know that's easy, but you want to scare people away? Use the word affidavit of identity, and you got to take this down to the clerk. I swear to God, that's why people don't get involved. All we want is volunteers.
Yeah, I mean, we can. I mean, you could be right on some degree, and I think, be honest with you, I think it requires innovation, and I think that's something that I lack. I don't have enough innovation. I don't think Russ Jennings has enough innovation of the Jackson GOP. I don't think it's anyone's particular personal problem, but it is all of our problem, right? And we do seem to find challenges. One of my problems I'm having, Russ, is I got 7 of the 8 smartest guys that are in the whole MI-GOP state level politics in a chat room, and I can't get these guys to even discuss something. Why they all secretly work behind the scenes, essentially behind each other. So like, it's very challenging to get these guys to communicate effectively and work as a team.
It's human nature. It's human nature for people. Unfortunately, they want the credit.
These guys. Well, I think it could be ego. It could be, that it could be the way that the nature of man or ambition. I don't think it's ambition. I think these people are principle minded. I think everybody in that chat room is principle minded, whether they're establishment or whether they're more grassroots, whatever you want to call it. But I don't think it's ambition, Russ. I think it's pride. I think it's ego, and these guys really need to set aside any ego or pride and work on what they're good at, which is their visionaries. They're your Aristotles. You can't navigate this big of an organization without some sort of vision. You look at you at the Jackson County GOP. Look how hard it is. You're the chair of that party. Look how hard it is to create that vision just to keep 50, 60, 70, 100 people afloat. It's a very big challenge. Can you imagine trying to do that with 4,000 delegates plus county parties, district parties, whatever? Like, it's such a challenge. And the visionaries or the Aristotles that we lack in our party, I can't get those few people even communicating. We have a communication problem, a communication breakdown currently as we speak. I think 28 is going to be a big challenge. God sent us Donald Trump, right? Like, if we didn't have Donald Trump, where would we be today?
Oh, we'd be done. Yeah. It'd be done. At least Trump has set the tone. And before you popped on, we talked about congressional people like Wahlberg and others who either seen the light because of his policies or jumped on because of necessity. Either way, we'll take it. I think he's committed, and others, many of them. And I think would have been destroyed if it wasn't for Trump. I hate to think of where we would be.
God bless Trump. God bless the surrogates that are changing our population as a whole. I'm a big firm believer that the politician is who moves the population, not the party. The party itself, I think we talked about this on the show. I don't think it's a money operation, so your local party isn't designed to sit and fundraise. I think your party is to protect the party brand. And right now, currently, you have no authority to protect the party brand.
None.
But then you want to have bylaws like, say, Kalamazoo to stifle delegates that join. I think it's hypocrisy at its finest. So I think the power lies within the politician, and it's our job to hold that politician accountable. And when the politician has more authority and more power over the party, I think that's when it becomes a problem.
And all too often, although it just seems like a little bit more lately, most of the politicians feel they don't need the party.
Well, they don't, do they? I mean,
No.
Do they honestly? Sarah Lehner doesn't need Jackson
Nope.
County GOP,
Nope.
does she? But you
Nope.
know what? If she did need you guys, would it be a whole different ballgame?
There was a time where she needed us more and participated more, but she's never depended on Michigan GOP or the Jackson GOP.
Would you rather have your politicians depend on the party or not?
I'd rather have them depend on us to a certain degree.
Well, how about Kevin? Kevin, you got less experience in all this. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know if I prefer them to depend on the party, but since the party is the direct link to the people, yes. If you see what I'm saying? I mean, I think that they should have to depend, they should have more dependence on the people, on their constituents, on the voters.
Until we figure out a way to elect individuals and they get elected through using our branding, our R or their D or whatever. I think...
So bad politicians or politicians that are soft or politicians that are not voting the way that your community would like them to see them vote, you have no authority as a county party to do anything currently. Now, you could run a candidate against that person or you could try to out-labor that person, but currently money runs the show.
It sure does.
And
they're getting the money outside. Right, and you've experienced it. They're getting their money elsewhere to put them.
Yeah, I mean, you could bring money out of state. You could have Consumers Energy buy it.
HRCC.
You could have HRCC buy it. You have industries that are buying your politicians now. So each politician right now is beholden to the dollar, not to the party. And why do they get to take our Republican brand if they're not going to honor the Republican values?
Can't disagree, but then again, we have to play out the hand of cards that we have sometimes. Can we change?
I mean, you're right. These are the cards we have, and when delegates or leadership in the state committee or leadership around the state decides they want to change out cards, then you have people like Russ Jennings saying what you're saying today.
Are they changing the cards in our hand before we even know they're changed?
It's a good question. I think this is where I think
I have no
discussion
cards.
is important. Communication is important.
I think
you're right, Rod.
With 3s and 4s. I don't know how that happened.
I have no cards. No hand.
No, but you're right. You're right, Ross.
I have a sweet title and a whole bunch of work and no hand.
But no, you're absolutely right, Ross. I think this is where I think communication is key. I think
have to start communicating
with others that they maybe feel uncomfortable with. 5th District Chair. Love the guy. He's one of my best friends. Talk to him every day almost. He hasn't talked to 9th District Chair a whole lot, Lori Skibo.
Yeah.
Well, why not? Well, because 2 years ago they had a battle with Christina Caramo.
Right.
That's got to go.
Stop being mad.
And
you and I talked a week ago over a Jackson issue, and you exposed to me, made me think, oh, Russ, when's the last time you talked to that individual? And I'm like, it's been a while. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. If Tim Walberg is not my enemy, neither is Lori Skibo. And the thing is who's accountable to who and what and why? These conversations have to happen. If we want better politicians, how do we hold them accountable? And if we can't hold them accountable, otherwise being radical, then we'll always be radical. I'm trying to have an honest discussion about changing party structure to hold politicians accountable. And I think that's what they're trying to do as well with this precinct Bill of Rights, the Delegate Bill of Rights. I think that's exactly what they're trying to do. But there's a lot of hoopla those delegates are trying to destroy the GOP. I think that's just like what we see in the headlines. That's garbage. Talk to Dan Bonamy.
There's no headline about it.
Talk to Dan Bonamy about it. Talk to Lori Skibo about it. Talk to people you otherwise may not understand what they're thinking or their thought processes on it. And you'd be quite surprised. Am I still here, gentlemen?
John, you there, John?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
John, now I'm hearing myself.
But a lot of it is communication. and we seem to, with all the communication tools we have in the world, we seem to be able to communicate well enough, which is bizarre.
It's a problem. But I look at local problems, and it's a small percentage. You could have as much open communication. We're suffering from a lack of communication. They use it as an excuse. I'll use it
You're
as an
absolutely
excuse. Right.
You're right.
John, you're helping someone for Secretary of State. You want to talk about her for half a second here? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm
Who's your-
helping Amanda
who's your
Love.
candidate?
Amanda
Amanda
Love
Love.
is running for Secretary of State. And let me just for full disclosure, disclaimer here, is there's 4 candidates in the race currently, and I think more are thinking about jumping in. If
I
they're
hope
going to
not.
jump in, yeah, I know it's how that goes. When there's more candidates, it just tears our party apart. But the other candidates, I won't say their names, but I'm actually personally friends with all those candidates. The last candidate I just met recently. I'm not necessarily friends. Nothing against the guy or whatever, but he's, I think he's in over his head.
I met him
I think
Saturday.
a lot of, we're probably all in over our head, but I mean,
We're over our head.
I think he's a long shot in my opinion. And but all 3, I think all 3 are formidable candidates. I think they're all 3 great people. I think they all 3 have good intentions. I think all 3 will do a good job. I like my candidate because I like the flexibility of collaboration. As I've been expounding on this show, just since I've been on, is we need more collaboration. If radicalizing or if extreme or being loud or whatever you want to call it is not the answer and the establishment's not the answer, then it's got to be somewhere in between and around. And that's why I like my candidate, because I think she's the most collaborative person on that team. I also think she's actually the most experienced on the team. She actually directly worked in the SOS office and shadowed an actual SOS. So, I know that it has that. Although one of the county clerk, and he's great as a county clerk, but and I'm not saying he wouldn't be a good SOS. I just think she comes in with the experience. And with her collaboration skill set, I think she's a rock star.
I can't disagree with you. I don't know Amanda really well. I will take your word for it that her collaboration would be great if we found a candidate to do that. But don't you think that a county clerk from a very large county might not give the others an upper hand to him than the others?
Well, I mean, you got someone that actually shadowed within the SOS, or do you want a clerk? I think they're both
True.
good. Like I said, I think Anthony would do a good job.
The only thing you got to focus on is one step at a time, and that's winning over the precinct delegates at convention. And I think
this
he
is
has.
not.
It goes back to like Kevin and I talking about Kevin Kajewski versus Doug Lloyd. I don't know Anthony well, but I think he's going to have a hard time convincing the precinct delegates, where Amanda or Monica or somebody like that's going to have a better chance.
Well, first off, I think, I guess without giving the handout too much, but I'm honest on your show. I've always been honest. And, but you're dealing with a very emotional race. The delegate body isn't about logic, reason, and facts a lot of times. They're not about being persuaded by Donald Trump's endorsement. They're not. They are a smarter body in regards to what they want or what they're into. So you either get with the program or you're not getting in. And that's really what it comes down to. Whether you and I agree or disagree, who gives a shit? It's not about that. It's about whether you're going to want to win this, collaborate and win, and figure out the answer. That's what the primary is going to be about. Then you got a general race. So if you go too wild, extreme, like the election's stolen in 2020, if you straight out say that, and the Democrats get that soundbite, you might lose in the general. So, but this delegate body wants to hear that. And so how do you navigate that road with this delegate body? It's a good question. And you know what? All three candidates, including the fourth, are going to have to figure this out, right? They're going to have to, if one of them feels like they're behind, maybe they just bluntly go on election integrity and say it. And that's going to be interesting if that's the case. So, like,
I think I'd go at it, a win over the precinct delegates and worry about the fallout when you're in the general.
well,
what else
the thing is if you do that, Russ, think about this for a second. Think about where the money comes from on an SOS race.
Right.
Say it's $3.5, $5 million, whatever it's going to take.
Now, where does that money come from, John? Where does that money come from?
That comes from wealthy establishment family in Michigan.
Yeah, so you can't step on their toes, huh, John?
So if you step on toes in your primary, look what happened. And Dixon didn't even step on toes, Russ.
Right.
And look at what they did to her.
They didn't give her nothing.
They hung her out to dry. They hung her out to dry.
Now, I got a question you just made me think of. I recall an endorsement out of Trump 2 years ago. I guess that's what it is, for AG. Is it unheard of for Trump to give an endorsement in a state secretary of state race?
No, he gave an endorsement
For SOS?
He gave it to Karamo.
Oh, that's right. No, is that
so
something that you guys got to work on?
You know, to be honest with you, we're not even working towards that, Ross.
No, I wouldn't focus on it either.
It's not a focus. To be honest with you, the collaboration's the focus for Amanda, and because honestly, Russ, I think all lines of communication are open. I really do think people are tired of fighting. You don't get me wrong. You will always have a degree of disagreement out there, and you can't change that small percentage that won't have a discussion. You can't do nothing about that. So like, those cards are going to have to fall where they fall. The thing is in my opinion, the body is created by 60-20-20. We've seen that at the last convention. You've seen the people reject Michon. I think they rejected Michon inappropriately or wrongfully. But it's irrelevant when it's not my opinion's irrelevant. So like, Michon is by far an establishment person. So, well, I wouldn't say by far, but she's not establishment, if you will. I think most of the establishment actually is out of the party politics altogether. I think most of that is gone. I think we have what you call like a new school of thought or a new establishment thought process. But so the body's 60% what I would say Karamo faction or prior Karamo faction, 20% leaning in the middle. That's kind of like where I throw my hat in. And then you got 20%, maybe even a little bit more, maybe my middle is a little bit less, and a little bit more on the what I would call new establishment side. I would throw your hat in that middle that leans the more new establishment side. I throw my hat and lean towards the Karamo side, and that's fine either way. I think we're all great people, but that's what I think that delegate body is going to be comprised of. And Monica, Amanda, and Anthony are all from the Metro Detroit-Politan area. Right. So, anybody that lives west of even 23 thinks Detroit's all of it. So,
Yep. I'm born and raised in Jackson. I think soon as you get east of Chelsea, you're in Detroit.
Might as well be. Yeah,
52. Yeah. So
there's still a lot of cornfields between Chelsea and Ann Arbor, but to me, you're there.
It don't matter.
14's the cutoff.
You tell people that you're from. You tell people you're from Lansing, they'll say Detroit, and from in Hillsdale. So, it's
all relative, because if you tell someone if you tell someone from out of state you're from Jackson, Michigan, they had the big question mark on your head. And you say, I'm 60 miles west of Detroit. Oh, okay, you're from Detroit. So, it's all relative. Right.
Yeah, it's all relevant. And be honest with you, so we have to work within the confines of the delegate body. There's no sense in fighting it. There's no sense in trying to try to finagle or change the delegates' minds like that. That's not my goal. My goal isn't to try to change someone's mind to thinking this or that. My goal is to show you how good of a candidate I have that's going to collaborate with your ideology and why she's going to be the best conservative in the race.
You might
That's
have found
really what
one.
I'm trying to do.
You might have found one in a man.
Yeah.
You might have. I want to.
Yeah.
I want to ask you something spicy, politically spicy that you might not want to answer. You might want to. It occurred to me this morning. So our 3 candidates for AG. Okay. Doug Lloyd, Kevin Gajewski, and Matt DePerno. And Matt ain't out doing anything. I mean, I don't know why he's in the race. And it hit me since he picked up the Trump endorsement a couple of years ago. You think he's just hanging out thinking that since he's got a direct phone number to Trump that he's just waiting for the Trump endorsement? What do you think
like
DePerno's at on this?
Oh, well.
Without us getting in trouble, what
question.
do we care?
No one watches this.
No, it's a good. First off, DePerno's a friend of mine. I would say a political friend of mine or a political ally of mine. It has been for many years.
I supported him in the
had
last
many
AG run.
I mean, we pushed him hard in our district, right? Like, I don't have anything ill to say about DePerno. I do find his race challenging. I think he has 6 to 10% support. I think from a strategy standpoint, Russ, he's just got to come in second. He doesn't got to come in first. So like some of the strategy is like, that's where I think Anthony's strategy may be as well, is they don't got to beat the top getter. They just got to beat you. Like if there's 3 of us, me, you, and Kevin, got to outrun a bear, I don't got to outrun the fastest runner.
Right.
I just got to outrun you.
True.
You don't want to be last.
Yeah, well, I'm going to trip both of you.
That's
so.
it. That's it.
With
You
his
don't want to
cane.
be last. So I think DePerno, where he's trying to position himself, or where he thinks if it's a legit run, he's trying to position himself not last.
Okay, but what good is that in a political race coming out of a convention?
Well,
You're
I
not being
can
chased
tell
by
you
a
what
bear.
it's going to be. I can give you an example, and that is, say you got 3 candidates, you got 1 that's kind of already labeled establishment, and 2 you just don't know. Well, that establishment one could come in second, or try to come in second, to capture the votes of the person that just left, and say the other 2 that you just don't know, say they're real close, 50-50.
Yeah.
So now your establishment candidate will capture that 50%, and because like they'll win with 60% or 70%. So it won't be, that's a possibility, Russ. And I do think that could happen quite frequently.
The reason why I probably thought that this morning is Matt DePerno was suspiciously absent from the Kalamazoo Lincoln Day dinner. And then that's his home ground. I mean, what do I know? I mean, he could be out of town on vacation. I don't know or care. But I thought that was odd. And I'm like, God, this guy isn't doing anything. It
is odd. It's a very important county. Both factions over there are great people.
I believe he lives there,
don't
he? Doesn't he live there?
He does. He represents Kelly, and he represented Kelly in her lawsuit. And for all the negatives Kelly has, all the positives she has, great. More power to her. God bless her, and God bless Kalamazoo County as a whole, and all the Greek conservatives there. It's a very important county because it's a county that, in my opinion, we always say, like in our district, Jackson's that from small to big county. But really, to be honest with you, Kalamazoo is that transition. Washington County is that transition from small to big county. Kalamazoo is that. And so Kalamazoo has a lot of resources and access, and just because of how big it is and how big the region is.
I think it's got 100,000 more people in the county than Jackson does.
It's significant. It's significant, and they got more business there.
Yeah.
There is actually marketable teams like sports teams and things. There's a lot of things going on over in that area. And you could stretch that into the greater Battle Creek area and stuff like that. And they do, from a market sense. So it's a really big geographical area. It's a really big populous area, and but yeah, it's extremely important. So DePerno should have probably been there if he could have been there.
Yeah,
And,
who knows
like
why
you
he
said,
wasn't.
but
And I didn't ask Kelly. I did talk to Kelly for a little bit, but that didn't come up, nor should it or would it have. But it was a nice event. I've been to. I think Todd and I've been to 4 or 5 or more Lincoln Day dinners this year, randomly. And I got to tell you, Kelly put on the best.
it looked beautiful, Rod.
It was a good event. I enjoyed myself. It was worth the trip over there, and plus I got some information while I was there that is really going to help the Jackson GOP out a lot, and I cannot mention it now. So, but that's why I go to those things too.
Yeah, it looked like a beautiful event.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
and
a good one.
I mean, me and Kelly had an exchange, but I did apologize for hard feelings, and hopefully she took that and understood that. And but regardless, I think KGOP could be really rocking.
I think we lost John.
Oh, okay.
He's back. He's back.
So where did I leave off at?
KGOP could be rocking.
Oh, I think they could be even better if they could settle some of their issues personally and internally.
Well, you got a good point there, John. You do, because if you think about the success of, say, their Lincoln Day dinner that I looked at, I know it had to be a successful Lincoln Day dinner, and other things that they do. Kelly is very smart. I could see they got a lot of momentum in their party. Boy, could you imagine if they were all somewhat united and not?
Yeah, because the other faction has a bunch of doers too, and
yeah,
wow. Can you imagine having a couple dozen doers in your party? I mean, that'd be amazing.
I'm happy
Charlie,
with 20.
Charlie's great over there. I mean, like Dan's great. They got a lot of good people, and I'm envious. I'm envious for bigger county parties because
you always have been. When you were in Hillsdale, you used to think Jackson was the pinnacle or something. I'm like, well, Hillsdale's rocking it better than Jackson is.
But I really do appreciate doers, and I appreciate the people that put their dedication and heart into this. And I know what it takes. I know what people sacrifice trying to make the state more conservative. I just think it could be more effective if we apply that energy and hold politicians accountable as opposed to fighting each other within the party structure.
John, I'm glad you said that. We'd probably be buddies without this, but that's one thing that we do have in common. And most of my close friends in this party we're connected by one thing, and it's we work every day. Every day. There isn't a day that goes by I don't do something to help this party. Or even if it's not election season, what have you done today to help elect a Republican? It's every day. And I don't expect the majority to be as dedicated as John Smith or Russ Jennings or Karen Wooten, and the list goes on and on. But gosh, as we're putting in every day, many of them, we don't get something once a month or every 3 months, and so I struggle sometimes of like, why is that? I know people have lives. I get it. Sometimes I feel like it's because they'll often say, well, I didn't know, or I didn't do this. Oh, I don't know what else I can do. I used to say, we communicate with every form of communication except for knocking on their door. We've even gone now to knocking on their door, to saying, hey, where you been? But I appreciate your dedication.
Oh yeah.
Our workload is pulled in different directions. Todd's the same way. My God, Now it's been helpful since I'm retired, but even before I was retired, it was, all the time. So I think that's what.
Well, it's about innovation, Ross. I mean, let me give you an example. And I don't even know if this is the appropriate word, but thinking outside the box. look what Monroe County is probably going to have the largest Lincoln Day dinner in the state.
By the way, since Todd's been the chair over there, man, Monroe County rocks. What?
But look, they decide they're gonna change their Lincoln Day to Charlie Kirk Gala, and they're gonna have probably the largest, if not the largest, or the best Lincoln Day dinner in the state. Maybe not the largest in terms of pure sheer numbers because their venue probably won't hold as much. But I bet they could sell it. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. If they would go on with the 500 person venue, I bet they would sell it out. You know,
yeah, I knew Monroe was solid. I didn't know how solid they were till Todd became the chair, and I get more one-on-one conversations because Todd's my buddy. But unbelievable. Now I go back to this: the successful counties in the state usually have one person that just does phenomenal work, and we know who that is, Monroe. And other counties have that one person. So I'm constantly saying, who is that one person that just does outstanding work all the time?
Listen, I'll give Holly that full distinguished credit.
Oh my God, definitely.
I did it at the last monthly meeting that I went to where I had to stand up because they had their little internal fight too.
Yeah, they do.
But I'll be honest with you, those women that have the internally fight, I think they're mostly women, or if not all of them. But they, those people are doers too, and that's why. And you know what's great about this? They might have this like internal beef, but it's not blown into where it's going to hurt the party. Right. I really do think that they're all going to participate and they're all going to be there, or at least they're not going to hate on it or make it worse. I do think that if they want to detach themselves from the GOP, they'll detach themselves in an appropriate manner, and then they'll just go do good conservative work. I think that's a great way of doing it, and I will support all their efforts, and I'll be there for when they do their events or when they do something. So, hey, if you can't work with the people you have, see you're just fine, that's fine. I'll walk away and I'll go do my thing. I'm not going to sit there and beat you up because I disagree with the way the party function structure is. I don't think the party structure per se, currently as it stands, or the current county party leadership or whatever, that doesn't dictate anything with the politician today. So I thought it did when I joined the party a decade ago. I thought being part of the party would somehow dictate the politician. It doesn't. And so I do believe we have to figure out some way to hold politicians accountable.
That's really all that,
in my opinion, with the precinct.
The delegate
Bill of Rights. I think that's all that they're trying to do, is trying to figure out ways to harness control over the politician.
All right, John, I'm going to cut you loose.
Thanks for hopping on, though.
Thanks for popping on. Drive careful.
Yeah, drive careful.
Tell Amanda we said hey. We'll get her on.
The weather's beautiful, guys. You guys enjoy it. Love you guys.
See you, brother. Thanks.
See you, bub.
Well, at least we didn't run out of content today, Kevin.
No, we never do.
No, we
that's
don't.
That's never a problem usually. I thought I booted.
Yeah, you got to boot me, man. I don't even know how to leave it.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I know you're driving. There it goes. It's just us now.
Yeah, we didn't run out of content today.
No, I wasn't worried about that.
Only reason I did boot him, I wanted to talk personal. My opinion about the state budget. And only a piece of it. Only a piece of it. We cheered the success that the Republicans had at accomplishing what they did accomplish in the state budget. Matt Hall, of course, that's the only chamber the Republicans hold. I do think in the scheme of things, they did the very best they could, since the Senate is controlled by Democrats and the governor is, of course, a Democrat. So I think that he would. But the biggest outcry, although John Wilson, he'll talk about this. I don't want to talk about it. John Wilson's biggest outcry in the state budget is the flim-flam moving numbers around with the gas tax.
Yeah.
And this is what I don't know. If gas is below $3.79 a gallon, you're going to pay 41 cents a gallon gas tax to help pay for the roads. If it exceeds, and the numbers are probably wrong. If it exceeds $3.79, then that 41 cents goes away to maintain them.
Mhm.
John has looked into that hard. My biggest concern, because the most outcry was, oh my God, they're increasing weed by 24%. All right. I live and I represent a marijuana township, Kevin. You know that.
Oh yeah.
It generates just short of $800,000 a year to our township budget
Right.
through excise tax. So any reduction in marijuana sales is concerning to me.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's revenue.
Now, having close family members and most of my friends that use marijuana products and purchase mostly from the dispensaries,
Right.
they're still going to buy that shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
My wife told me, long before rec marijuana, she has a good point. Rec marijuana was approved. An ounce of weed was $150 an ounce.
Okay.
Currently, you can buy an ounce for under $60.
Yeah, it's cheap.
Okay. You're going to add 24% to that.
Okay.
We're still under 100.
Yeah, you're still doing well.
Get this. The potency of marijuana is way stronger than it was
Oh,
5
insane.
years ago.
Insanely
So
high.
you're really getting a bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Old stoners will know this. The marijuana offered at the dispensary,
Mhm.
you're getting more bang for the buck than you did 5 years ago.
Right. And you're getting a consistency too.
That's right. And
That
plus,
people
the
forget about.
weed guy, this is how it used to be with the weed guy. You had to call the weed guy, hey, you home?
Yeah, you gotta go.
Yeah, I'll be here at 7.
You gotta go hang
You
out
had to
with
go.
the weed guy.
Yeah, no, convenience. They're open, whatever, 9 until 9. You go and you buy your product. All right. I commented in a Detroit News article, which I never do that. So I was getting people coming at me all different directions. And people are misinformed. All right. This is what I think the weed guys are going to do, Kevin.
What's that?
So this is a wholesale tax. The wholesaler taxes the retailer 24%.
Right.
So, of course, at point of sale, the retailer is going to add 24%. It's
Right.
not like a sales tax where the price is 20 and you add 6 cents on the dollar, or the excise tax. Currently, when you buy your weed for 20, they add either the medical marijuana excise tax or the rec marijuana excise tax. Okay. So this is at the wholesale side. Of course, the retailers aren't going to eat the 24%. They're going to add it to the cost. Get this. I'm the only one that said this, and people think I'm wrong. Tell me honestly what you think.
Mhm.
The weed business has been struggling. We're watching weed stores close all the
Right.
time. Only the strong is going to survive. Don't tell me that the retailer isn't going to add that 24% and then maybe an additional 3 to 5% to pad their margins. And then when the consumer comes in, oh my God, that price, why is it up so high? Well, I don't know. The state taxes us. It's the state tax. When you know they're going to squeeze in a few percentages on that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, why wouldn't they?
And you guess what? You're still going to go. Maybe in the beginning you're pissed off and you know a weed guy. I don't even know if there's weed guys left.
Very
And
few
you're
of
going to
us.
go to weed guy for a little bit. But guess what? You're going to get tired of having to meet him at 7 o'clock in the park or at his house.
Exactly.
And you're going to end up back at the weed store.
Uh-huh.
The sky isn't falling in on the weed business.
No.
Now, if I was a state legislator, I don't know, can't tell, taking the whole realm of everything, I probably would have been a no vote on that.
Mhm.
I don't like tax anywhere. Alcohol tax, tobacco tax.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, if you're going to tax something, that's the best one to tax. My phone will start blowing up.
Yeah. And John Smith said Senator Manillo, Senator Lindsay, Senator
Leno.
or State Rep DeSanta, State Rep Cara,
I'm
all
aware.
voted no for a reason.
I'm aware.
I'm assuming that's what you were talking about.
Well, they're border states to border counties to right. So that I'm in Jackson.
yeah.
People aren't driving from Indiana to buy weed in
No.
Jackson, but you're driving from Indiana to buy weed. Now you're still gonna. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't sell weed in Indiana.
Or Ohio.
I heard that Ohio just passed Iraq.
Did they?
All right. So if they pass rec, so that's competition to those border counties to Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in Indiana, I say if you're out of state, hit them with 50%.
Oh, easy. Why wouldn't you?
They have no choice. I'm not quite getting the whole I'm a border county. I get that marijuana industry is huge to the border counties. Your grandpa, my father, lives in Branch County. The weed stores are lined right up
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Of course they would be, like the fireworks stores used to be on the other
Or
side.
even tobacco.
Right. It's all the same now. I think it's going to be fine.
I think it'll be all right. Well, and you said in the beginning of that the marijuana industry is in trouble, and they're not. The bubble pop. There was way too many of those guys.
And being in a marijuana township with, I don't know, a dozen dispensaries, one goes out and a bigger company just moves in.
Yeah.
There is one on the far east end of the township out in the middle of nowhere that closed up. I don't see anybody going in there. It was a horrible location. All of our
That
weed.
one was already issues.
By the way, it's a beautiful building.
It
Someone
is
should buy it
fantastic.
and put a pub in there or something. My God, it's a cool building, but it's too far out.
Yeah.
When you can buy weed right off the interstate in my township.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, it goes to supposedly to fix county roads.
Right.
And they only got half of what the Republicans wanted to put into county roads, but there's something coming. But now that I look, I have an issue there.
Mm-hmm.
So the money is directed to the counties, and the townships are left standing here with shit, relying on the county. The county is going to focus on county roads before they worry about them township roads.
Mm-hmm.
We play a 70-30 split. The township pays 70% here in Jackson County. The Jackson will pitch in 30 if you want to do some local roads.
Right.
Some townships do that. Leone does not. Maybe we should consider it. I'm going to push really hard. I doubt it'll work. Can you at least change the match
Yeah.
to maybe 50-50? Anyways, the townships are often getting hosed. And then I was in a Facebook comment thing with some people, and a treasurer in a small township in Kent County. I've known her literally since I was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
Bonnie, she's a treasurer, and she had mentioned how revenue sharing from the state is going to be reduced. Now, my township administrator a month ago was scared that they were going to reduce revenue sharing by 12% to the townships.
Mm-hmm.
I guess now it's 8%. So I went through my emails, and the Michigan Township Association was like, yeah, all your townships are going to have to adjust to looks like an 8% reduction in money funneled from the state. All right, then let me back up here. The gas tax
Mm-hmm.
is funding county, cities, and villages
Okay.
for local roads. They cut out the townships. So when Bonnie, the treasurer of that township in Kent County, said that,
Mm-hmm.
and I went back in my email, this was the first thing that came to my mind. The Michigan Township Association sucks.
Apparently.
The Michigan County Association and Village Association and City Association are a whole lot better associations than the Township Association.
Right.
I'm just talking shit here, but I'm going to see what Leone pays to that group,
Uh-huh.
because is it worth the money we're paying to these assholes? We got screwed. The townships got screwed.
Yeah. It sounds well. They got completely removed from the equation.
Your neighborhood road in the township you live in ain't going to get fixed.
No.
It ain't going to get fixed in Leone. I guarantee you that, because that board has no appetite to spend any township money on county roads, not even with the match, even if they increase it. And then if we're staring at 8% reduction in state revenue sharing, yeah, guess what, people? You're not going to notice that you're paying more at the pump. You're paying more for marijuana. You're not going to notice that your roads are getting fixed. Yes, Page Ave might get fixed. Yes, Parnell might get fixed. But the road that you drive on in your neighborhood is going to remain shit.
Yep. And that's a big thing. John Wilson has really been driving home on his home Jackson. And, how do we fix it? And there's no answer.
Kevin, the city is going to take in tons of money on this new way to fix local roads. The city is, but John's got a point, and I know the city of Jackson and most cities are like this. They're going to piss that money away. You're not even going to notice it in Jackson.
No.
Now you'll notice it more in Jackson than you will in the townships because we ain't going to get shit.
Yeah,
we ain't going to get nothing. I know these Jackson County commissioners, and I know each and every one of them. Many of them are friends. That money is not going to flow from the county to the townships. Not anytime soon.
No, that's where the disconnect is, and I think that's why roads aren't getting done and why people are frustrated. It's like it's a big finger pointing session. Well, it's not my fault. It's the county. It's not the county. It's the township. It's not the township. It's the city. It's not the city. It's the village. It's the blah blah. It's the state. It's the federal.
No one gives a shit. They just want the roads fixed.
Yeah. Why can't we just figure that out?
Before I was actively involved in politics, Kevin, I was still partially involved in politics, and I could be wrong, but a decade ago or more, a dozen years or more ago, I don't remember there being that's a county road and that's a township road and that's a state road. I kind of remember state roads versus county roads, but somehow down the line, they created this whole scenario where counties aren't responsible for township roads except for plowing them or filling in the potholes. They've deflected their responsibility. And I don't know when that happened or if it's been that way a long time, and I'm just noticing it now because I'm more involved. But the more I look at the state budget and how it's supposed to help, they funded schools $10,000 per pupil. Okay, all right. If you're this school person, that's great. But this whole road thing, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, something weird, something off.
I'm not feeling it. And I think the townships got hosed.
Yeah,
I will, as a township official, and I do have a better connection with the county commissioners than the rest of my board. I'll do my best to express my concern and say, I will suggest, they won't do it. I will suggest, hey, how about making that split at least 50-50?
Yeah.
70-30? Really?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't make sense because the officials on the county level, that 30%, well, those people still drive on those roads.
John's been saying it a long time. You know, the city doesn't get in on that 70-30 split.
Why would they?
But somebody commented, they are affected directly by the Act 51 gas tax that was passed a long time ago. So the counties get Act 51 money. It's supposed to flow to the townships, and the cities get Act 51 money. And so they're responsible for their own roads, their own road department and all that. The townships never have gotten Act 51 money. We were always dependent on the county to funnel that money to the townships. They've just made it worse now.
Yeah, it's all a big clusterfuck. It really is.
Your neighborhood road ain't going to get fixed.
Nah.
What do you got, Kevin, before we get out of here?
I don't have much of anything. I mean, the normal stuff, guys. Make sure you like the stream and follow the channel if you're not already. We're here every Monday with people or not people. Sometimes there's people that we didn't know were going to be here show up, like John. But yeah, guys. So do that. Make sure you like our Facebook. That's all down in the description.
I got some announcements.
And yeah, I think I've got all of your stuff ready to roll.
Yeah, let's do the clip. Right. So our Lincoln Day dinner and Trump after party is October 25th, Saturday, October 25th. Tickets are available at jxngop.org. Ticket sales are decent, but we need you people who have committed to go to jxngop.org and buy your tickets. We need to let the caterer know how many people to feed before the day of the event. So please help us out there. But this is a clip from our inauguration gala nearly a year ago. And this is what we're hoping that our after party turns into, because Jackson would like to have Jackson itself has a reputation of liking and knowing how to throw a party.
Yeah.
Jackson GOP also has a reputation that we know how to throw a party. And this is a good example of that.
All right. Oops.
we squared up. Democrats played dirty, but we got the dub. It's been a long campaign from Queens to Tampa Bay, but I praise God that He let me live to see this precious day. From Israel to Iran and Russia to Ukraine, Joe made us a joke. They don't see us the same. How close we've come to World War III is insane, but now I'm back. I'm about to put some more respect on our name. The deep state run out of time, now they're terrified. They couldn't get a case of stick, but Lord knows that they tried. Man, bulletproof from built to thrive, that's just my vibe. 2 attempts of my life, yet I'm still alive. Now I'm walking around with balls bigger than the Nephilim, protected by the king that was born back in Bethlehem. New leader of the free world, I'm fighting for my citizens. With God as my witness, we gon' make this country great again. We gon' make our country great again.
Dave
Make
Jones.
our country
Dave Jones, he
great
gets it,
again.
dude.
Make our country, make our country, make our country great again. Make our country great again. Make our country great again. Make our country, make our country, make our country great again.
Let's do that again.
Yeah, I'd say so. It sounds like I'm going to be there that day. So
July 25th. It starts at 6 or something. Lincoln Day dinner, formal Lincoln Day dinner. Speakers, all 5 of the 6, 7 candidates for governor: Eric Nesbitt, Tom Leonard, Ralph Rebrandt, Carla Wagner, and Anthony Hudson will all be our guest speakers. They'll wrap up about 8. Then we're going to throw up random speakers, people that spent big money on tables. 9 o'clock, the after party begins, and that's what we're going to do again. Most Lincoln Day dinners don't have an after party. We're having an after party.
yeah, we're having an after party. That's going to happen.
Party. So we're looking forward to that. All right. Tickets include the after party. Dinner tickets include the after party. But if you're broke or you just want to come to the after party for $35, you can come to the after party at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
JacksonGOP.org, October 25th. The Jackson Lincoln Day dinner and Trump after party. Jacktown, where we get down.
Where we get down.
All right. Never know what that's going to turn out to be.
Yeah,
like.
we'll see.
By the way, the Grand New Party told me that they are interested in having their annual Christmas party in Jackson again. We've done this, would be the 3rd or 4th year. You know, I'm not on the Grand New Party board anymore, but they're still friends of mine. And Jackson knows how to party, and that's always a bash too.
Yeah.
So
I've only ever seen the after party.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean,
we've decided not to do that like that no more.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And but we're going to be like at a live music venue where we can, drink hard and party hard.
Oh yeah.
But people will keep their clothes on this year. Well, maybe not the ones that are supposed to.
Well, never mind. You'll have to be there to find out.
Oh boy.
Oh, you're gonna get yourself in trouble.
I know it, but you don't even know what's on my mind. I'm gonna move on.
Yeah, moving on.
Turning Point USA, Jackson chapter, right here in the Jackson GOP headquarters. It is called Gen R. They have to name themselves separately. Gen R is the Turning Point USA chapter here in Jackson. It is the main chapter for Turning Point USA right here in the Jackson GOP headquarters.
There it is.
And yes, and then I might have sent you the link for their Facebook page. They haven't created a website yet. This is like 2 weeks old. But that's it. They have a whole section in the Jackson GOP headquarters where they do what younger people than me or you do. Whatever that is.
I don't know what
I don't go over there. All I can do is screw it up. But that's the Jackson GOP Gen R, yeah. Turning Point USA.
Turning Point USA, yes.
Just type in Gen R in Facebook and you'll see their page.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
I was trying to find it, but I apparently don't.
It's Gen R on Facebook.
Yeah, you'll find it.
They'll be happy.
I'll find it and put it in the description.
They'll be happy to have you there. We're excited about that. Stick to Plan podcast every Monday, but November 3rd, candidate for governor Tom Leonard will be our guest,
in the studio. And prior to that, we'll probably have some sort of fundraiser luncheon for the Tom Leonard. But he'll be in the studio.
In the studio.
In the studio. We've never booked somebody out that far in advance.
No.
But I know a guy.
I know a guy that knows a guy.
State convention is March 28th. And guess what? We'll say it again. We have found a candidate for District 47, Justin Griffiths. We are going to hear a lot about him. We're going to be moving him everywhere and introducing him to as many people. 47 represents, once again, all of Columbia Township, most of Summit Township, all of Napoleon Township, all of Norville Township, half of Grass Lake Township, and then it goes into Washtenaw County. We got to get rid of Carrie. I forget her last name, Rodriguez.
Ryan. Yeah, I don't know.
We should have played that video too.
Yeah,
what a whack job.
She likes to chop parts off of kids.
She wants your children to call her office to help with gender affirming care.
Avert you and anything. Any of
just
your
call
wishes,
her office.
Just call her office.
I'll pick you up in the car and we'll take you to the chop shop and
cut your wiener off or whatever.
Cut your wiener off because we got politicians like that. That's weird.
Yeah.
But anyways, Justin Griffiths, stay tuned. He'll be at Thursday's executive committee meeting for an introduction. There is no Under the Oak Speaker Series this month because of the Lincoln Day dinner. And then I think there's a precinct delegate. There is a precinct delegate event. I forget the date. I should have wrote it down, like October 22nd. He is the guest speaker for that. We're rolling him out everywhere.
Might as well.
Justin Griffiths for State House.
For State House.
JXNGOP.org.
Yeah, I was just checking your website. It looks like October 22nd. Does that sound right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is right there.
Everything you need to know is on the website.
Yeah, I'm on the website. That's where I'm at right now. So
it's a good
JXNGOP.
If you say, hey, I didn't get a call or I didn't get a text or I didn't get an email, guess what? You can go to JXNGOP.org and it's all right there.
Yeah, you can also donate there if you'd like to.
We like donations.
Be part of the 300 Club and stuff. And
thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome.
There's 4 ways to belong to the 300 Club, and they're all fundraising mechanism to do what? Elect Republicans. No one gets paid. No one gets paid. We have rent up here in this beautiful facility, but it's cheap, and I am working on a deal to where we will be rent-free here in about a month.
Well, don't tell them that. Make them donate.
Well,
don't tell them you don't need money.
It would be nice that your donations didn't go to rent.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Is my
that's
point.
That's a better way to put it. Better way to put it.
100% will go to candidates.
Yes. All right.
Now, us paying rent helps candidates.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't pay rent because we got like a sweet podcast room.
No, that doesn't really cover the rent.
Anyways,
I know what they pay you, and they don't pay you enough to cover the rent.
No, I'm out of pocket.
So am I.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
All right. Yeah. Let's end it there, guys. Thanks for watching today. We'll be back next week. I'm sure we don't have a guest lined up. He's over there just pushing John Wilson's buttons, literally.
Awesome.
But beyond that, guys, we're out of here, and yeah, that's it. Bye. And
See
stuff. That's not the right one. I almost played the His Own Jackson one again.
You've been listening to Grandma's Boy Media Production. Welcome to the Stick to the Plan podcast. Michigan's elite political podcast is about to begin, live from the birthplace of the Republican Party.